And hello everyone, we are back on air. This is Olga show for you. From 6 to 7 I speak with you in English. Thank you very much helping me to learn English with the famous people here in California and America and actually from all over the world because we had guests from other countries as well. And also from 7 to 9 I will be speaking with you with my Russian language with now American accent. That's what my Russian friends would tell me. And we have a special guest, Maurice Sharp, who wrote recently Learning iOS Development. It's a hands-on guide to the fundamentals of iOS programming. So if you want to learn how to write apps, you can listen to us and then read the book over 500 pages and ask all of the questions of Maurice Sharp himself, who is here in the studio, 408-912-5265, 408-912-5265. Or if you are shy, which I understand, you want to hear what he has to say himself, then you can contact us through Universal 92.3 FM or through olga-show.com. Hello, Maurice again.
Hello.
I know that you have been talking about what developers do at their not only developing time but for fun time. Can you mention that?
Developers do a lot of different things for fun time. For myself, it's singing and acting and a few other things like that I've done in my fun time. One of the interesting things about working with the kind of developers I've worked with over my career is, I have a very good friend who's an excellent jazz pianist. I have others that like to play guitar, some that do their own thing, some that like to fly helicopters or planes.
Yeah, it's happened a lot. I guess they get tired of virtual life during the day, and so on the weekend or their time off, they doing all this, I wouldn't say crazy, but risk-taking also activities.
Who doesn't want to
Bungee
fly an
jumping.
airplane? That sounds like a great weekend to have.
Okay.
Bungee jumping and those kind of things as well. I risk-taking.
And of course, you shouldn't be like shy because you go on the stage and then you're playing jazz music or singing. Because that's what I'm gonna ask you to improvise right now in front of Mike. I know we did not prepare here, but if something comes to your mind, please improvise, because you have 6 years in theater.
Right. So you asked. One of the things you asked me about was the 12 Days of Christmas is sung by a Jewish mensch. So there's actually a whole skit that goes with that like I said, I did in front of my daughter off the top of my head. But it's basically a very old if you don't know from Jewish mensch, they're usually a little older and they're not so, they're usually not that particularly happy, but of course I'm going to be happy, but they want to make themselves happy, so, perhaps it's a Christmas time and they're going to be happy because they'll sing some songs that'll make them happy, like maybe, I don't know, jingle bells, laughing all riding an open sleigh with the snow blowing in your face. Are you crazy or something? That's cold. I'm not going to do that. No. But obviously the 12 days is the one that everybody likes. So if you've heard the first verse already, you'll have to excuse me, but we'll do it anyway. On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a partridge in a pear tree. A partridge? In a pear tree? I live in a New York apartment. Where am I going to put this thing? On the second day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 2 turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree. 2 turtle doves? 2 turtle doves. Where am I going to put? Maybe they're going to the tree or something? I thought birds in this apartment. I don't know. On the third day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 3. I should know this, but I forgot it. You'll have to excuse me. That's terrible, and I'm singing this in a concert in like 2 weeks. That's really bad now.
So this is rehearsal, and you know what, from my experience, when I used to listen to the radio and knew that I would probably never even dream of the work I'm doing right now, but it's not even work right now, love what I'm doing, having fun at the radio show. I know after Thanksgiving, all of the radio stations start to playing all those Christmas songs. So by the Christmas, you all remember them, or you don't like them anymore, or all of the above. So here my donation to it was a famous developer, Maurice Sharp, who made sure that your Apple phone's working, and not only Apple phones, Palm, Newtons, and other devices he worked on.
I didn't work on the iPhone. I developed software applications for the iPhone, but I did not work on the iPhone itself.
Well, yeah, it's so many things in that iPhone. I must say that's why, for whatever reason, I'm still not using, but I maybe will.
BlackBerry, a nice Canadian phone. It's three French hens. Three French hens. You know, you can tell they're French because they go luck, 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 luck. Two turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree. You know, that partridge, it's not looking so good. On the fourth day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 4 calling birds. Get off the phone! 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the 5th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 5 golden rings. Ah, something I can use. We got some gold. It's good. It's worth something. That's good. 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. You know, that partridge, that looks like twist ties on the legs. Maybe it could be. On the 6th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 6 geese a laying. This is useful. We've got eggs now. We've got some eggs. We've got some gold. We're getting somewhere. She's getting better at those gifts, you know. 4 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the 7th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 7 swans a swimming. What's the pool doing? When am I gonna put? I got a pear tree. Now I'm putting a pool in the apartment. What are you doing here? 6 geese are laying, 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. You know, that partridge, it's kind of looking a bit dead. On the 8th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 8 maids a milking. Look, it's very nice that you got me the milk, but where am I going to put the cows? I mean, the maids, they're not looking so bad, but the cows? 7 swans are swimming, 6 geese are laying, 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge, kind of, not totally in the pear tree, but mostly there. We're going to go on. We'll just skip the ladies dancing when we go to the end. On the 12th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 12 drummers drumming. Would you shut that noise up? My landlord, he's calling. He's going to kick me out with all this noise. 11 pipers piping. 10 late lords are leaping. 9 ladies dancing. 8 maids are milking. 7 swans are swimming. 6 geese are laying. 5 golden rings. Could you maybe make it 10? I think I'm going to need a new apartment. It's a lot bigger than this one. 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge that looks like it's sort of on the floor and maybe molting a little. Anyway, that's...
All right, who wants to hear that performance in full will be where? Where
yeah.
they have the chance to listen and see you live and get the books autographed by you.
I haven't got any places to go right now. The best place to keep an eye is my own website, which is mauricesharp.com. There you can find out more about the book, get some extra content there, and it's slowly building out.
Seems like true love isn't really that good at gift giving.
No. Definitely not.
So now you have daughter? Only one daughter?
I have one daughter, yes.
Do you think she will be a computer scientist or a doctor?
I don't know. Right now she wants to be a teacher, but she's only 10, so she's going to have a lot of... She'll change her mind a number of times.
And maybe by that time all of the devices would be developed already, what do you think?
Oh, no. There'll always be stuff. There'll always be things being developed. The question is what they will be, because the technology is getting smaller and smaller. And once you get into wearables, like I said, you won't really know, you won't realize you're wearing it until it's on you, or until you need it. Things to automatically change the temperature of the room when you walk into it, or to unlock your door for you, all of those kind of things. To help you get to the food that you want in the store as you get in there, or to remind you as you're walking into clothing store that there's some pants or whatever you need to buy. It would just take you over to them. There's lots of different things you could do with that kind of technology. And you add to that the cognitive computing, and it gets really interesting. You asked for a good example. So for cognitive computing, you probably remember Watson on Jeopardy, IBM's Watson playing on Jeopardy and actually winning on Jeopardy. So the folks up at IBM, some of the folks there were the folks who did that Watson. And cognitive computing is much deeper than that, though. It's that and more.
I know that IBM periodically have those seminars and bring in a lot of guests. That somebody wants to participate, please contact me, and I will have the people to talk about IBM and cognitive technologies available. Perhaps we can bring the guests from IBM, because that's would be interesting to talk about.
On cognitive computing, will we ever get to the point where we get to be like Robert Downey Jr., Tony Stark, and have the computer talk to us and tell us things?
There's no reason you couldn't. On that seminar, they were already showing linguistic programs that could understand and then basically show back English. So there's no reason why it couldn't talk, and there's no reason why it has to be in English. It can be in other languages. In fact, it could do translation fairly easily for you.
Do you think we'd ever be friends with the computer?
That's a philosophical question. I mean, you might enjoy being with the computer, whether you're friends, I don't know.
Could it develop its own kind of personality and its own?
I would expect that the computer will adapt to how you work. There's no reason why, again, a computer with that kind of stuff behind it can't interact with you in using language that's, say, friendlier or happier, or for a younger kid that's younger.
And then, of course, being a developer, do you think developer can influence maybe some sort of feelings computers or programs can have?
You definitely can, because you just have to look at how feelings are triggered. One of the advantages I have is that my wife's a clinical psychologist, so I learn a lot both about management and many things from her. But you can definitely trigger all kinds of different emotions through the design of your code, through the design and look and feel of your program. A good example is in games. Some games are scary, and they are designed to be scary, and they are designed to scare you, horror-type games. Others are designed to get you really engaged in racing or things like that. Other games are designed to engender happy feelings. And all of that is done through how the game looks, through the language, through the speed of how you interact with it. And you can do similar things through how you speak. So I'm speaking now in more of an explanatory term, but if you observe people, say, on a date, sitting there having dinner together, you might hear them talking more like this with each other, and just laughing a little, and the pauses are different. It's a different way of speaking, and it triggers just different emotions in you. That's the way it works. Steve Jobs was actually an expert at that. I would invite you to watch any of his keynotes where he introduces a product, and actually pay attention to when he moves and when he doesn't, how he moves his hands, when he pauses, when he doesn't, when he speeds up, when he slows down. If you watch the iPhone introduction, you can actually see him using techniques to draw the crowd in. People call it the reality distortion field, but it's really just his expert knowledge of how to talk with others and how to, I would say, create a market, create a need in people.
All right. That's kind of interesting subject that for me would be interested to see. So what if developers can code, of course, and they periodically do, that out of this software program you can only have so many exhibits or so many solutions, while so many others available there. I guess it's kind of talking about in general terms, maybe in safety reason, you don't want other solutions. But then what if developer is more on grouchy terms and another developer happier? So he'll say, well, I want to add up this solution to this program because it might help our future generation. Do we have any code of conduct?
There's really no code of conduct well, there's no enforced code of conduct with developers. And you've got a wide spectrum. So you look at the different hacker groups out there, right? Those are people who know coding of some type or know software engineering of some type. They may not be computer science, but they can certainly write code, and the code they choose to write are viruses or things to break into places. That's one way of doing things. It's not what I'm interested in, but they do that. But then you've got others who write software for helping, software for agencies that are trying to bring aid to the rest of the world. You need computer stuff for that to work on, and some developers donate time to do that. So you definitely have a broad spectrum of people. There's as many kinds of developer, if you like, as there are people, because developers are just people.
All right.
I was going to ask you, what do you think about self-driving cars? Do you think that they're a possibility in the near future, and do you think they're safe?
They're already there. They've already been approved as far as I understand it. Are they safe? I would assume they're safe or they wouldn't get approved for being on the roads. I would guess that if there's anything that's unsafe about the car, it's more in other people's reactions to it and trying to be overcautious or to avoid it.
Would you use a self-driving car if it was available? If you were, say, asked to between a choice between a new regular car or a new self-driving car?
I might go for the self-driving car. The self-driving stuff is like anything there's an early adopter phase. If they become something that gets out there, there'll be the early adopters who want to buy them and get them on the road and use them. And then from there it'll fan out. Will we see them on the roads? I don't know. My observation in the States is that most Americans like their car and like to be able to drive them, and like to be able to drive them, say, a little bit faster than they're supposed to be driven.
I can attest to that. Lots of my friends love speed.
Yeah.
So I noticed in your profile, fan.tv.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me more about that?
So fan.tv, I can tell you a little bit about it. I can't tell you a lot because I don't actually start there full time until Monday. They used to be called Fanhattan, and there's a lot of different services out there that will stream stuff to you, stream TV stuff or stream movies to you. And the difficulty is that there are lots of those services. So what FanTV does is you set up an account and a profile there, you start telling it the types of TV shows that you watch and the types of movies that you're interested in. And it aggregates together where can you watch these things. So now if you want to watch a particular TV show, if you're really into the Game of Thrones and you want to rewatch it, it'll tell you where you can watch that show. Where are all the things, especially if you enter in your accounts, it'll tell you where that show is available. For me, I'm a really big James Bond fan, and I wanted to see the new James Bond, and I set a little alert to say, tell me when I can watch James Bond for free on one of the services I subscribe to. I guess free is all relative because you subscribe to them. But a couple of weeks ago, I got an email saying the new James, Quantum of Solace or Skype is available on Netflix and Amazon Prime. And that was great. So I can just click there and I can go to either one of those services and start watching it. But because all they're doing is aggregating, that means there's a lower cost of operation. You don't have to deal with all that streaming. You're just telling people where to go. And that means you can focus on producing a service that's really good at helping people find what they want, really good at suggesting other shows that they might be interested in, and focus on what the customer is about.
So it's only sends you emails or send you
No, it's a full on, like there's a web service and mobile applications. I'm going in there to actually help to manage the mobile teams. Android and iOS. But you go to the website or you open up the mobile app, you choose what it is you want to see after you set things up, and then it'll direct you to wherever you can see these things, assuming you can see them either for free or for pay or however you want to see them.
Now, being a developer, what was the most happiest moment in your life?
Oh, boy, oh boy.
Life as a developer or life in general for him?
Anything. I mean, it's kind of interesting. Whatever first comes to mind.
So when you ask me a developer, the biggest thing for me was that day I got my internship at Apple. When they called back and said, yes, you got an internship. And then going down and actually meeting these people and working with them was amazing. For my life, it would be very different. There's two moments for me. One is when my wife actually said yes after I asked her to marry me, and understanding that when I asked her to marry me, what she said first was probably, and then she made me wait a week until she said yes. And then the other moment is...
I just wonder, what did you do during that week to convince her to say yes?
I actually let her... I didn't try and convince her. I wanted her to make her own choice.
So did you see each other, or you just disappear?
No, we saw each other a few times, but we didn't. We spent a little bit of time together. But I wasn't trying to convince her at that point.
How nerve-wracking was that week?
It was an interesting week. Yeah. But it's worked. We celebrate our 25th anniversary this coming year.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
And then the second moment would be the moment our daughter was born. That was just incredible.
Did you go to the delivery room?
Oh,
Was
yeah.
it allowed?
Oh yeah, I was there in the delivery room and saw the birth and got to hold her. And
So I guess it does affect men big time.
oh yeah, oh yeah.
So was it screaming, blood, daughter came out, or what was it?
No, I mean, it was a birth, and there was eventually epidurals and things like that. But there was definitely, I mean, I was with her through the contractions, etc., holding her hands and trying to be helpful, which is impossible to do because you're having contractions and there's really not much helpful that can be done except to stand there and hold and try not to say anything too unhelpful.
Maybe you can do some improv to cheer her up.
So right now they do have offers the classes where they can prepare both parents to that moment. Did you have that
We
opportunity?
took those. We took those, but the reality is, they're interesting. It's very good intellectually to go through that, but really nothing prepares you for what actually happens. Nothing prepares you for your wife being there, going through cycles of pain that are clearly very intense, more intense than anything you've encountered, and there is nothing you can do about it. I mean, nothing.
All right, so that's kind of interesting. I was wondering if you did videotape of this or not, or it's everything happened so fast by that time. And
No, it wasn't fast. It took a long time. It started about 8 o'clock in the evening, and Carly wasn't born until 1 something or other the next day, 1:13 the next day, 1:13 p.m.
Okay.
1:13 p.m.
Yes, it was a long labor.
So it's like almost 20 hours or so.
Yeah.
All right, but at
No,
least
3:13 p.m.
3:30.
It's a long time.
I've got it written down.
Right. So it's so as we see that you're a human being, you're going through the same as everybody else going to. At the same time, you're developing the programs, and you try teach others how to do the programming.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you wish other viewers and listeners at this point?
From a programming point of view, or just
In general, and your programming point of view, of course. Whatever you want to say. This is your microphone today.
my microphone? Hey, and it looks tasty as well. Actually, it's got a dust on it, so I don't think I'll take a bite. So for me, one of the things that I've had the honor of is building and managing several high performance, high retention teams. And they worked because the people on those teams cared about each other. They were open with each other. They collaborated together. They communicated together. They worked well together, and they worked well with others as well. So if I were to say anything, it's to be open, to listen, and not assume you're right. One of the things I'm always catching myself on is to make sure that when my wife or my daughter talk to me, I listen first instead of just telling them what I think the right thing is. And that it's a very hard thing to do, but it's one of the best things that that I found people can do to get on better together, to be more effective together at work, at home, or wherever.
All right. Sometimes they, for scientists, also offer to check and work with children more often, so to see that creativity and openness children have in different mind perspectives they might still have, and we lost being under pressure and under no all the time. Know that, know this, and so forth. Okay, well, we have less than a minute at our show. Thank you for coming to our program, and I hope you will find also other people by your choice who can come to our program and share the information with us. That would be good, because we're always looking for interesting programs. And even if they can perform jazz here, it's happened many times. Even we had ballet here, dancing and dancers doing all kinds of pirouettes here. So we had that. But this time our show on this Saturday, unfortunately, finishing up. 408-912-5265. You have been listening Olga Show and Maurice Sharp with his new book, Learning iOS Development, and helping everyone with iOS program in Olga Show for you.
And connect with your community there. Download